Record. Hello, everybody. It's Andrea Caprio from Wellness Methods. I am today with somebody for this interview, which I was really looking forward to speak to, Danielle Litthoff from battlebornhealth.com. And Danielle has her master's in physical therapy. She's also a doctorate in physical therapy. She is orthopedic and physical therapy board certified. She has a certification in functional medicine. She's also a fellow nutrition coach, and she is even a soccer coach, a CrossFit trainer, and has, I think, over 10 years in sports medicine. I might have forgotten something. Hello, Danielle. Nice meeting you. Nice having you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for having me here, Andrea. Actually 20 years in physical therapy and sports medicine, athlete my whole life, and the mom of 2 kids, which is a big one when you're talking about adrenals.
I know that out of own experience, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great having you here. Danielle, I want to talk to you especially today and give a little bit insight to those participating in my courses in the exercise part, because you as a specialist obviously can give us a little bit more insight of all the difficulties with exercise and adrenal fatigue, or people who are under extreme stress or exhaustion. And I want, before going into that, I want to know from you, what brought you actually to do what you are doing today? What is your own story?
So my story is, it's multifaceted, but I have been a physical therapist for 20 years. I was an athlete as a child. I was an athlete in college. And I really loved that part of me. I loved that. And I wanted my girls to see not the soccer mom on the sidelines, but the soccer mom that was playing soccer. So I had some goals while with my children to maintain that fitness level. I think when you're looking at anything, you've got these extremes, right? And so you have the extremes of the people who don't get off the couch, and then you have the extremes of the people who never sit down. And you're going to have adrenal issues on both sides of that spectrum. When you're looking at those type A type of people who are constantly moving and never slowing down for multiple reasons, they have adrenal issues. And so that's where I lie. I had 2 kids. I was working. I was adamant that I was going to complete a triathlon, an Olympic distance triathlon, before I turned 40. I was getting my doctorate at the same time, and I was working 30 hours a week. So my story with that, and then I also had gut issues, but I think really where this all started was I started doing all of that and noticing that I felt worse. I was hitting my swim workouts 6 days a week. I was doing my cross training and weightlifting 3 days a week. I was running 3 days a week. I was, like I said, still going to school, still taking care of my kids, still coaching their teams, and I was also playing soccer. And I just bonked. I mean, there's no other way. My adrenals just went out. And I started gaining weight. I started having problems with anxiety. I started having problems where I would wake up in the mornings. I was able to wake up. I was exhausted, but the only way for me to really get my energy to do all the things that I expected of myself was to get that workout in. Because if I didn't spike my cortisol by having my workout, I couldn't make it through my day. So that's really where I started. And then I started realizing I had gastric issues, and they got worse. I had to really look at my diet. And then I started really talking to doctors about that, and they couldn't give me any answer. They just said, well, you're not fat and you're almost 40. Deal with it, you know? And I kept saying, but I'm gaining weight and I'm working out more and I'm eating less. And so I really started looking at food sensitivities, really looking at where, the glutens and the dairies and those added into that. But it wasn't until I started training with functional medicine that I started looking at the food, the lifestyle factors, and the recovery was where I kind of found that healing, where I started to heal.
That's amazing to hear. I'm actually so glad that we're speaking about that because a lot of people, they go to their doctors and they just don't get the help they need. And what you mentioned is, you saw a functional specialist and that together, probably with a more holistic view, helped you a lot. So you mentioned recovery. Tell me a little bit more about it. I really would love to know because I think other people can identify. I mean, I certainly can identify in terms of doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
I've perhaps not been as athletic as you are, but in life I definitely do too much all the time. And, it doesn't work. And I had my fair issues of myself. So in terms of recovery, what was for you the needle mover? What helped you?
So, we all have our priorities, right? And my priority was that athleticism. You hear work out more. Everyone's got to get in their 10,000 steps, or everyone has to do 3 days a week. And, they're still pushing cardio and now they're pushing strength and you just don't know where to go. I think what we really need to look at as recovery is you've got a parasympathetic system, which is your rest and digest, and you've got your sympathetic system, which is your fight and flight. Those need to be in balance. And the problem is we're never in balance. We're always on that fight or flight, whether that is a perceived stress, which is just in our head. It's driving down the freeway and you almost get in an accident or stuck in traffic, or, oh my God, I got to get to the grocery store today because my kid's birthday is tomorrow, whatever it is. It's perceived stress. And then there's the real stress, right? And so the real stress or physical stress would be exercising too much and never letting your body calm down. So we all look at it as, I got to go to the gym 5 days a week, right? So for me, the needle mover was, you know what? I actually need to sleep 8 hours. I need to go for a slow walk outside. I don't necessarily need to go lift more. I don't need to go run more. I need to bring that needle back in balance. And it was funny. It was one day it hit me because my stomach was not happy. I was having a lot of digestive issues. And I'm running, right? And I'm thinking, wait a second. There's fight and flight and there's rest and digest. And all of a sudden I just stopped and went, I never rest and digest. No wonder my stomach hurts. No wonder. So then I had to kind of go back, and for my mental issues, for me mentally, I love to be moving. That's who I am. So that was a very hard piece for me to actually say, no, don't go today. And it's okay.
That's really amazing. I love what you're saying. This rest and digest is really, I think, something so important. So many people also, they just don't take the time to eat. And you can't digest if you don't eat. And I hear a lot of people actually, they speak about, they eat the right foods and whatever. But if they don't take time for the body to digest, you can't absorb the nutrients. And that's probably in your case as well.
Yes, you can't absorb the nutrients. You end up with all sorts of digestive issues. You're working out really hard and you're not replenishing your system. From the physical therapy aspect of it, coming out of that health coaching, but from my doctorate in physical therapy, you cannot heal a tendon if you overwork it. Right? I was talking to a patient yesterday, and we really discussed the fact that, yes, your bicep is weak, your arm is weak, but your arm is weak because you've never let it heal. So on a strengthening aspect, we break down a tendon. I mean, that's what we do. We break down the muscle fibers, we break down the tendon fibers, we break them all down, and then our body is super smart and says, oh, wow, well, I can't do that anymore, so now I need to make it stronger. Okay? But that time to make it stronger, if we never give it that, and if we never give it the nutrients to do that, it's never going to get stronger. And that's where we're getting all these overuse issues. And pain will affect adrenals as well. So we really need to look at it as the whole body and changing those lifestyle factors so you have that balance to repair and recover.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, I'm also wondering, you are obviously been on the side where you have done too much exercise.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of participants who are just too tired, actually. There are perhaps very advanced adrenal fatigue, and they're actually don't get out of bed in the morning and they don't do any form of movement or exercise. What would you suggest for those people, what they do to kind of get their adrenals perhaps functioning a little bit and build up slowly their adrenals in terms of exercise?
So it's exactly what you said. It's build up slowly. Okay, so I think a lot of people say, okay, I'm going to start an exercise program. I'm starting it right now, and I'm going to do it 5 days a week, and I'm going to go to the gym and walk on the treadmill for an hour every day. And they may do that for a month, and then they're exhausted, they're bored, they hate it. So really what you have to do is your body does have to move. We are built to move. And if you don't move, you're a ticking time bomb. You have to move. Find ways to move. Meet yourself where you are. Okay, so if you're exercising, when you're done with that exercise, if you feel good and invigorated, fantastic. If you're done with that exercise and you feel exhausted and you have to crawl back into bed, then that was too much. And so people with adrenal fatigue really need to be honest and check in and be mindful. And so when you're mindful, look at that. Okay, meet yourself where you are. Does that mean that I'm going to get up off the couch right now and I'm going to walk around my couch and see how I feel? Okay, I'm going to walk around my couch today. I feel okay. All right, tomorrow I'm going to walk around my couch twice. In 3 days, I'm going to maybe walk outside. And you start building it. Now, if you don't love walking, find something else. You can go on YouTube and YouTube a yoga video. Do 5 minutes of it. Do the warm-up. Just find something you love. And there's so much out there. You got to think outside the box. I also believe that being outside is very, very important when you're starting. It's not about going to the gym and being inside and being on a treadmill. I really believe that we need to move the way our body's meant to move. So whether that be go for a small walk with your dog, or maybe that's a walk with your friend or with your child, whatever it is, move in a way that makes you happy, not in a way that you think you're supposed to. And then you can continue to build.
I like this. Yes, absolutely. I agree. I mean, for some people, it's just too difficult to go to the gym and do all these exercises or so. But definitely going outside is not only good, for you also to be in nature. And if you're in daylight, it brings already your cortisol levels up and it makes you feel better. You get a lot of vitamin D eventually as well. That helps, all that together. And then it just puts you in harmony being outside and moving, like you say, just with your daughter or son or a friend or somebody, or instead of getting the delivery of your newspaper to your house door, why not go to the shop and, walk there to pick it up?
Right.
My mom does that. She's quite old, but she's still, she doesn't want to deliver it. It allows her to move every day.
Yeah. And I think that's it, is you have to find, there's so much out there, but you really have to find we're talking about the deeper why a lot of times. Mm-hmm. So with exercise, don't force yourself, because that's not going to make you happy. And then you're not going to be consistent. You need to find something that you enjoy. And that's what's going to make you happy. And that's what's make you, whether that be meeting friends at a gym, whether that be walking to coffee, whatever it is, find what you love, and then you'll keep doing it.
Yeah, I think that's very beautiful. So tell me, what is your top tip, perhaps you can share, to improve your energy when you're really fatigued, when you're completely exhausted? What would you say would be a top tip you like to share?
Oh, I'm terrible at top tips. I'm terrible because I see the whole pieces of the puzzle, right? So really you're going to look at, and I don't want to overwhelm you, but you take one thing at a time, and you have to look at what's contributing to having your adrenal fatigue in the first place, right? So the things I look at are food, sleep, exercise, and then again, recovery. And so we're looking at calming things down. We're looking at taking out the toxins. So if you're looking at your food really needs to be clean and varied in color, and it needs to be nourishing, right? So you really have to look at your food. You need to get rid of things that are adrenal stressors, like alcohol and coffee and tea, and find ways to decrease those. So you're taking out the bad and replenishing with the good, right? Replenishing with things that we know are energy producers. So foods with vitamin B, foods that are anti-inflammatory like turmeric, and good fats like coconut oil, olive oil, those types of things. So you have that in your system to start repairing. You've got to sleep. You've got to figure out a way to sleep, and really sleeping with circadian rhythms, I think, are so important, so that you are up when the sun is up and you're down when the sun is down. Really finding ways to do that. I think that, again, to slow your brain down. If you're one of those people on that end of the spectrum where your brain is just racing 1,000 miles a minute, find a way to do a guided meditation for 5 minutes. And just, you may not love it at the beginning, but just keep finding ways to give yourself that calm and that recovery. And then again, like we said, find the exercise you love and don't push it. 2 days on, 1 day off. I really think, especially people who are pushing hard, you need that recovery day. 2 days on, 1 day off.
I love that. Yeah, there are very, very good actionable tips. And I actually like that you just not say one tip. I fully agree. I mean, I'm full believer, and this course is also really about holistically healing. I mean, I see so many people who just, pop supplements. I mean, even I don't speak about medication, which we all know doesn't help much. It's just a Band-Aid. But, some people just, they do one thing and then they wonder they're not getting better. And it is a holistic approach where we're not getting better. And I like also what you said is going back to the root cause. What initially made you sick? What made you tired initially? I mean, we all don't wake up suddenly and have adrenal fatigue. It's a slow build up, and we obviously initially have not noticed, those red flags and the signs, and of getting worse and worse, and whatever the stresses are in our lives. And they're not always the stresses which are easy to see. It's sometimes those hidden stresses, like you mentioned earlier, the toxins in your food.
Right. Toxins in your food, or toxic relationships are a big one. Emotional stress is huge. And going back to supplements, I had a teacher who said, and I love this, supplements are supplemental, they're not permanent. Right? So there are times where we need that, and you need to be guided in that. You need to find the right, doctor and coach to get you, because there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them out there. And I think there are times where they're needed, but you need to look also, there is no magic pill. There's no magic pill. So it's so much more than each piece. You have to put the pieces together.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's really also your lifestyle. And like you say, exercise, not overdo it, but you need to get moving. And just wherever you are, and it doesn't matter, if you're the athlete or if you've never moved outside of your bed for some time. But it's really important just to get going, and don't overdo it, but do something, and, do that right every day.
Right.
Wonderful.
Right.
Danielle, I want to find out, or to know, how can people find you if they want to go a little bit deeper and perhaps go a little bit deeper in working with you? How can they find you?
So I have a website. It's www.battlebornhealth.com. That's our physical therapy website. We do have a health coaching page, and we have a blog as well that we put health coaching tips as well as physical therapy tips every as much as we can. We also have a Facebook page, Battleborn Health, on Facebook. So you can find us either at the website or at the Facebook page.
That's perfect. Wonderful. I will put all this just next to our little video here. And I also know that you have a gift. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about?
So my gift will be how to start an exercise program and how to maintain it. With the new year coming up, I have a talk that I do about how to make it stick, right? Everyone makes those New Year's resolutions, and 90% of them are done by March. So what I really like is, when you're looking at that, is to look at how to make this stick. So I'm going to put together a gift for you on how to really find your why, how to make those exercise tips start to work, and how to build from where you are now so that you can get to where you want to go.
That's amazing. I look forward actually to seeing it myself. I know how important it is. It took me a long time to get to my exercise routine. And I believe, habits and rituals are so important in our lives, and slowly increase them. And so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I really enjoy talking to you. It's so amazing what you've been doing to help people. Is there perhaps anything else you want to add?
Not really. I think that, again, people really need to look at where they're at and take the whole picture in. Exercise is a piece, food is a piece, lifestyle is a piece, emotional is a piece. So I think it's, looking at all of the recordings that you're doing, all the interviews you're doing, and really assessing the whole picture, stepping back. And if you can't do it on your own, because this is complicated stuff, finding someone who can help you. Really looking outside the box of someone who really connects with you and then can help you through this piece, because all these pieces to get to the healthy end. I think that's the biggest part.
I love this one. It's funny. I thought about it myself this morning, and actually I'm going to write an article about it. And I had just this thought that, we should treat ourselves like a business almost. When you have a business, you can't do everything yourself, and you just can't manage everything yourself. So you might need, a doctor, obviously a healthcare professional, but you might need a coach as well, and you might need something, to help you to get more out there, or whatever it is. And it might be a friend, but it might sometimes also be a professional who helps you. And I was recently so fortunate to find a coach myself, which I was really looking for. And it's so important. I mean, I realized I can't do it everything, alone. And I think nobody can, actually. Life is just so demanding today that we need some help. So it's really important to take that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's no way, no one person can do all this on their own. And there'll be people along the way that'll give you different parts of it, different pieces to your puzzle.
Absolutely. And seeing that holistically is great. Danielle, it was really good having you here. Thank you so much for your time and being there. I'm sure we exchange a lot of other things here. And thank you for being part of my program. Really enjoyed talking to you.
I enjoyed it too. Thank you so much. Good luck with the rest of your program.
Thank you, and have a great day. Take care. Bye, Danielle.
Bye.